the Big 12 championship, Texas Tech and BYU. Boy, BYU win and in. It's clear that the college football playoffs didn't like their resume. I don't know why necessarily at 11-1, why they're on the outside looking in right now. But Texas Tech seems like to have locked up their spot pretty good. And this is once again another rematch of teams that played earlier this season. Texas Tech ended up taking that one in a pretty hefty victory in Lubbock. So instead, now we're playing at a neutral site. Won't be a home game for Texas Tech. They won by 22 points. This line here is at 12.5 as we're recording this right now. Texas Tech, I mean, what else can you say about this team other than like legit national championship contender? From top to bottom, like their offensive line is playing phenomenal, which has allowed their quarterback to play really well. Their two running backs are phenomenal. Caleb Douglas, the guy that we've known is an exceptional player, has just been dominating the last couple weeks. He's been awesome. Not to mention, Cole Eakin. I mean, they got Reggie Virgil. They got some great football players on the offensive side of the ball, and Texas Tech on the defensive line, absolutely massive with David Bailey and all that. And then, of course, the guy everyone wants to talk about, Jacob Rodriguez, there on the second level. I mean, this Texas Tech team is nuts. It is nuts. I still don't know how they lost to Arizona State there on the road. They should have closed that one out. What a drive there by Sam Levitt and company to find a way to win that game on the last possession. Unbelievable, right? But this Texas Tech team, I don't know. Maybe they need that loss to propel them to where they are right now, but they're one of the best teams in football right now.
Yeah, that was also a game too where it was Will Hammond and they got down early. They kind of abandoned the run, which was a little surprising considering how dynamic they have been on the ground with both their running backs. Has Texas Tech been? So, and we've also said this too. We love Will Hammond. We think he's a very good football player. At least in my opinion, this team's chance of winning a national title is greatest when Baron Morton is healthy and when Baron Morton is playing well. And he has been so far this year when he has been healthy. Now, in that BYU game, he took a lot of sacks. He really did. They got after him, Jack Kelly and the company. They really put a nose on him, in the first half especially. And then things kind of started to pull away. Texas Tech started flexing their muscles. They ran the ball well, and they slowly just kind of suffocated BYU, especially defensively, with Bear Bachmeyer, on the road in a massive environment for him. They shut down LJ Martin, and I expect Texas Tech to try to do similar things. Of course, easier said than done. We talk about rematches, how hard it is to beat a good team twice, and I do think BYU is that. I do think they are a good team. This would be a big-time win for Texas Tech. Man, it's a big line, though, man. It's a huge line. Is it 13.5 we're picking it at?
We're picking at 12.5.
12.5 still. My goodness. Is that big? I think Texas Tech still, they also get a win here. And unfortunately for BYU, it potentially knocks them out of the playoffs with everything that has to happen behind them with some teams and conference championship winners looking to secure a spot. So I like the Red Raiders here. I think on all phases of the game, they win here, passing, defense, running the football, getting sacks, turnovers, special teams. It's a damn good team, man. And I think they're just getting started, and they're going to have a long and fruitful season, I think, here in December and January.
The interesting part, though, about BYU is like you look at their team and you're like, okay, what are their limitations? Early on in the season, you would have said, like, oh, like this Bear Bachmeyer kid's like pretty good, but maybe he might not be good enough to like elevate this team. Well, he's had an entire freshman season.
Yeah.
Right? He's no longer a freshman anymore. And in fact, you look at these last couple weeks that he's played, he's been playing damn good football. Damn good football. If he comes into this game and he's able to take care of the football, I think the biggest thing for BYU is like, can they run the ball with LJ Martin? Like, can they do it, man? Because they were able to, they have been able to do it just about every other game this entire season. Just this Texas Tech rush defense is just so dominant, and like their front seven is just so good right now. It is tough, but if you are able to find any sort of success there, I think that Bear Bachmeyer is good enough to win a game for you. I really do, which is crazy to say. I really do think that he's good enough to win a game. However, like you said, all phases of the game. I think the quarterback advantage, the running back advantage, the receiver advantage, the offensive line advantage, the defensive line advantage. I think it all goes to Texas Tech. Like top to bottom, it is just a significantly better roster. I do think that emotionally, this team, seeing Kalani Sitake give the double bird to Penn State and BYU donors coming in big time, I think that emotionally, I think that could elevate your team and tie something together. And it's like, wait, actually, we do have something special here. We do have something really, really special here. So, against my better judgment, I'll take Texas Tech to win, but I'll take BYU to cover this 12.5. Against my better judgment, against my eyeballs, I just have a feeling that this team is going to rally together behind a quarterback that's no longer a freshman, an offensive line that I think is pretty solid, and a defense with a defensive coordinator that is one of the better ones in college football that no one talks about. Jay Hill, man, absolutely phenomenal defensive coordinator. The job that he has done there the last 2 years. By the way, we want to talk about Kalani Sitake getting hired away to Penn State. How about Jay Hill coming in? That hire alone, Kalani Sitake. I've said it before on the show. Like, Kalani Sitake legitimately said, like, in so many interviews, like, when he hired Jay Hill, he's like, I got my guy. Like, I got my guy. Like, people were confused why there wasn't a bigger name that he hires as a defense coordinator. It's like, oh my gosh, your job is on the line, and you're going to hire this guy from, where was he from? Weber State or Portland State or wherever he was from. You're going to hire this guy? Jay Hill has been unbelievable. He's been unbelievable. So, of course, the Texas Tech defensive coordinator hires also elevated their play so far this season. But against my eyeballs, I'm going to take Tech to win, but BYU to cover.
It's not crazy. I mean, if you look at that game back in Lubbock, now, first of all, Texas Tech did leave some meat on the bone, especially in that first half. Make no mistake about that for sure. They were only up 13-0, and BYU was pretty fortunate to still be in that football game. But you had a crazy environment, right? You had BYU playing probably their worst game of the year, no doubt. Turnovers, muff punts, missed field goals, interceptions from Bachmeier. I do expect them to be more prepared and play in this football game. I have a hard time getting behind them to overcome the talent issue and the talent gap, and even a damn good coaching staff on Texas Tech side as well. A team that's on a mission as well. I love how you brought up the fact that Sitake is staying. First of all, I think that's fantastic for BYU, fantastic for college football. A lot of good things in that. Exciting to see there. Also, too, in that first matchup, LJ Martin and Jack Kelly were both coming off of injuries. Now, it didn't seem to affect Jack Kelly, but it was, maybe that did play a part, in LJ Martin, and maybe they get him going a little bit more last time. With that all being said, I'm still on the Raiders, or the Red Raiders, to get it done, to win and to cover at 12.5.
See, like 12.5 is a lot of points. I know BYU's offense didn't put the ball, in the end zone until that fourth quarter. But what happens if Texas Tech, like we've seen all season with Tech, you get in the red zone and you stall out a little bit and you settle for field goals, right? So does that 12.5 become a lot more difficult to cover when you're settling for field goals and you're not scoring touchdowns? Like, we've seen this all year. If there was something that was going to hold back this Tech team, it would be probably that red zone offense. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and that's definitely something that they're going to have to work on if they want to go far into playoffs, because you can't be settling for 3 against damn good teams from here on out.
Hello, Matthew here with the Redshirt Sophomore. I'm here to invite you to our 2025-2026 Redshirt Sophomore Bowl Pool. That's right. Every year we're going to be hosting a bowl pool. We got it here on the ESPN app. So you got to do 2 things. All right. In order to qualify, you got to subscribe to the channel. So obviously hit that subscribe button. We'll know. All right. And then you got to go down into the description of this video to find that link in which you can sign up for. And then, of course, from there, that'll qualify you to win a mug such as this, and also $20 cash prize. So it's free to play. We're hoping to make this super competitive with everyone. You guys are going to have to beat me and CD, of course. But yeah, it's going to be a standard pick 'em with confidence levels as well. So make sure you apply the points to teams that you're most confident in. Higher points is teams that you are most confident in. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this, guys. So make sure you guys are dialed in for this one.